Hello chess friends and welcome to Jozarov chess channel and welcome back to the US Chess Championship in 2022. So we're following now an epic game from the round 7 of this beautiful chess event. We're following now the game between Dominguez, Perez, Leinier versus Elshan, Moradiabadi, and this game is quite spectacular because it ended only in 10 moves. Yes, you heard it right, it ended only in 10 moves, but the game did not end with a draw or something. The game ended with a spectacular trap or a spectacular mistake that happened here in the pattern of defense. Although it was a short game, still I think we should analyze it because you don't want to fall for this, you don't want to make the same mistake. So in my opinion, we should be really familiar with the common tactics of the beautiful Russian game, of the beautiful pattern of defense. So that's why I still decided to show this one, because as I said, you don't want to play the same line like here Elshan Moradiabadi did. So let's see now the game, and let's see now what was the problem about this beautiful pattern of defense game. So here Dominguez, Perez, Leinier open with the move e4. We have here e5 by Moradiabadi. We have knight to f3, knight to f6. So we have now here the symmetrical variation, the Russian game, the pattern of defense on the board. We have here knight takes e5 and now d6. So it's still perfectly fine. This is normal theory. Knight to f3. So we're now in move 4. Knight takes e4. So again, standard stuff. And now d4, d5. We have now really perfect symmetry. The pawn structure is really symmetrical. We have here 4 pawns on the queen side and 3 pawns on the king side. So we have now this outposted knight, and in the near future also one of the strategies can be that white also occupies the e5 square. But here after move bishop to d3, we have now the so-called classical attack, and the classical attack is pretty standard idea here. We are attacking the knight in the center of the board. If the knight retreats, then it doesn't meet with the opening principle that you should not play with the same piece twice. So that's why many times in the opening stage black does not want to retreat with the knight again, because as I said, black doesn't want to lose time, black doesn't want to lose a tempo in the development. So that's why I think this classical attack is pretty fine for white. At least you're creating some kind of an attacking idea, so at least you're producing some kind of a dynamic game. So in the continuation, bishop to e7, kingside castling. So we have now bishop to f5. So still everything is pretty standard here. Black is simply cementing the knight on e4. That's his main strength. That's now his main attacking goal here. So in the continuation, we have now this move c4, and this move c4 is a pretty standard idea. We're trying to deflect the pawn that's supporting the knight on e4. So basically the whole game is a battle around the square e4 in the beginning. So this is also pretty standard stuff. So now black has many choices, and from this point on the big game becomes really tactical. So black has now many chances. You can play d takes c4, which is pretty fine. Then after bishop to c4, at least you're deflecting this bishop for a while. At least the bishop is not attacking anymore the knight on e4. Now after something like castling, bishop to d3, black can simplify the game maybe with this idea, knight to d6. It's I think also a nice idea. Knight to d6 after bishop to f5, knight to f5. Notice that at least in this scenario white is left with an isolated pawn. So you can also try here, instead of maybe d takes c4, you can also try to fix everything here to really be compact in the center of the board, but again be compact around the square d5 with the potential c6 move. But you can also play a more flexible line here with the move knight to c6. So these are pretty standard ideas here in the pattern of defense. But here after move c4 that Dominguez, Perez, Leinier played, here we have kingside castling by Elshan Moradiabadi, and this was now a huge mistake because you don't have any protection anymore of the d5 square. So here after move c takes d5 and queen to d5, here a new mistake by Moradiabadi. Again, you don't have to take out with pawn. Okay, maybe you can say I made a mistake, but again I think with knight to d6 you can survive this position at least for a while. You can maybe hold on to this position, although kingside castling was already a huge mistake because of this c takes d5 move. So you see now white is simply up a whole pawn and will eventually trade off the bishop, will play knight to c3, and will then also protect the pawn on d5. But after c takes d5, now queen to d5 was played by Moradiabadi, and now after bishop to e4, here in this position Moradiabadi immediately resigned. So what's the problem here? Let's see now again the possible continuation. If you try queen to e4, the problem is now you get rook to e1. The bishop is lined up here on the e file, and the bishop will be lost, so you have to retreat. It's game over. So what you could do here, after move bishop to e4 here Dominguez, Perez, Leinier played. You can also try bishop to e4. Now knight to c3 is happening, and the problem is now you cannot here play bishop to f3. Then again we take knight takes d3, and after bishop to d1 we can simply grab another piece. It comes also with the check. Now we simply grab another piece, and this is game over because white is up two minor pieces, so it's game over. So you cannot do anything if you retreat here maybe to c6. Then again this idea, knight takes e4, queen takes e4, and then with rook to e1 again the bishop gets trapped. So again a lost game here for black. So really wild stuff. I'm not sure what to say. This is a mistake that you should not repeat. Notice that your pressure is simply around the square d5. You have to support it, or you can play with the move knight to c6, a more dynamic game, maybe with at least a counter attack around the square d4. But you have to battle for the center here, as we said, after kingside castling. From this point on, it was a one-way ticket. C takes d5. Let's see again the game. Queen to d5, bishop to e4, and now after potential queen to e4, that's the main goal. The main tactical idea is this move, a rook to e1. So okay, really wild stuff. As I said, I'm a little bit sad that this happened in grandmaster level. I'm a little bit sad that this was not a game that we showed here in order to maybe disrespect Moradiabadi, but it's a really mistake that we have to know in order not to repeat it, in order to not make the same mistake in our own game. So okay, really wild game. If you want to see some other games from this beautiful chess event, check out our coverage so far with so many beautiful games. Here are some links of some games that we have analyzed before, and if you like this content, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See you soon with some more videos on what to say. Chess is the best, of course.